Bionicle, Equestrian Saga, Book 1, Rise of the Wolfpack. Chapter 2, Into the West. So there I was, lying on my back, about to be savaged by a wolf made of wood, when all of a sudden a zebra appeared out of nowhere and charged the wolf on top of me, before stopping and turning on a dime, kicking the wolf off of me with its hind legs. It then ran around me to place itself between the wolf and myself. The wolf tried to run around the zebra to get to me, but promptly received a staff to the face, courtesy of the aforementioned zebra, causing the wolf let out a yelp of surprise. "Get back, return to your territory with the rest of your wolf pack," she, it seems, said in a distinctly African-sounding voice. The wolf started to back away before howling to its pack and running off into the forest, with the rest of the pack following close behind. I got to my feet and then picked up my sword and put it on my back before walking over to the zebra, noticing for the first time that she was really small. She roughly came up to my chest in height and was wearing neck rings, as well as several bangles on her left foreleg and really big earrings. "Thank you. I would have been done for it if you hadn't shown up," I said. "What else was I to do? I wasn't going to stand there whilst made a meal of you," she responded. "Okay, 4 things. 1. Who are you? 2. What is this place? 3. What was those wolves? And 4. Why are you speaking in rhyme?" I asked, counting off each question with my fingers. "To my hut we must go. There I will heal you and tell you everything you wish to know," she said. "Heal me?" I asked. "Look at your arm," she said, pointing to my left arm with one of her forelegs. "The timber wolf has caused you some harm." I looked at my arm and noticed that where the timber wolf had bitten me, there was several teeth marks and a small amount of blood trickling down my arm. "Oh shit, how did I not notice that?" I exclaimed, not even trying to hide my surprise. "The saliva of timber wolves dulls the pain. It is so that the prey does not complain," she said. "So," I said nervously, "how about going to your tent then?" It was more of a statement than a question. Her response was simply turn around and walk into the forest. After following her for a short while we came across a tree with several windows and a large door, as well as bottles of various sizes, shapes, and colors hanging down from the branches. There were also a couple of Africanist tribal masks, including one above the doorway. I had to duck down to fit through the doorway. Inside the hut, I could see more masks, each one unique, and more bottles. Some was hanging from the ceiling, most were on shelves. In the center of the hut, a large cauldron. "Please take a seat at the table," said the zebra, pointing to a table in the corner. "A bite from a timber wolf can make its victim quite unstable." I walked over the table and sat down cross-legged on the floor. The zebra started putting various things on the table, such as a bandage, a cloth, a bowl filled with water, and another bowl filled with a mixture of water and an unknown liquid, which I presumed to be a disinfectant of sorts. She started by picking up the cloth with her hooves, I still don't know how that works, and dipping it into the bowl filled with water and the unknown liquid, and started to clean the wound. I visibly winced when the cloth came into contact with the wound. "Ah, that stings." "Please do not complain. The mixture will only cause temporary pain, she said, before dipping the cloth into the ordinary water and then repeating the process a couple more times. She then got the bandage and started wrapping it around my arm. "So, what's your name?" I asked once she had finished bandaging my arm. "My name is Sakura. The reason I found you when I did was because I often go out to collect herb-based flora," she replied. "My name is—" I tried to tell her my name, but I found myself unable to. It was as if every time I tried to say my name, my voice caught in my throat. Shit, why can't I tell her my name? Come on, gotta think of a name. Oh, I know. Conan. Yeah, that'll do. I thought back to when I went to Holland, and as a result, tried and failed to learn Dutch. I still picked up a couple of words though. "You can call me Conan," I said. "I seem to be unable to tell you my real name, so it will have to do anyways. I have to ask, why do you speak in rhyme?" She nodded before saying, "In the land where I am from, the land is baked in hot sun, it is seen as a mark of wisdom if the healers speak in rhyming rhyme." "And where are you from?" I asked. "It is a place that goes by the name of South Africa, and the language calls my kind Pont Amelia," she responded. I was about to ask what Pont Amelia meant, but she continued. "What about you?" Sakura asked. "Of all things I have seen, you're something new and different." "Well, where are we now?" I asked. "And I don't mean in this hut. I mean, what is this country called?" "This land is called Equestria," Sakura said. "It is a place that is full of friendship and devoid of fear." "Have you heard anywhere called England?" I asked, uncertainty creeping into my voice. "Please excuse me whilst I prepare food for my cooking pot. Meanwhile, please do tell me of this place of which I know not," she said before standing up and clearing the table. I could feel myself starting to panic. I can't start freaking out now, not when there's someone else around. I started to slow my breathing in an attempt to try and calm myself down. I can freak out later. I turned to Sakura and asked, "What would you like to know?" "As much as you want to tell me of where you are from, and also I am curious to hear some of your homeland songs." "Oh, that reminds me," I said, getting my rucksack off my back and checking inside. "Who knows what could have gotten damaged in here?" I thought, thinking back to when I got knocked over by the Timberwolf as I started taking all the stuff out of my bag and checking to see if any of it was damaged, speaking out loud as I went. "Alright, headphones are fine, laptop's okay, camera accessories are okay, camera's okay, it's a bloody miracle, phone's okay, no signal though, charger's okay, everything's okay, thank God." Now I felt a lot more relaxed. Pick up the laptop and turn it on before turning it to Sakura and saying, "You wanted to hear some of the music of where I'm from is like, yes?" She was too busy stirring whatever it was in the cauldron, using a wooden spoon held in her mouth to talk, so she simply nodded. "Okay, let's see," I muttered to myself, and started scrolling through the different music groups that I had on the laptop. Disturbed? No. Sabaton? No. Remstone? Definitely not. Gorillas? No. 650 plus songs, and there's nothing to listen to. Ailstorm? No. Van Conto? I wonder. Sakura, what's the music like where you're from? Is it like drums and vocals? I asked, trying to decide which song to play. Again, her only response was simply to nod. Okay, think I know the perfect song to play. It's quite a calm and gentle song, so it won't be too disturbing, I hope. This time she placed the spoon down before saying, no matter what you play, I will listen with an open mind before I tell you what I have to say. Okay then. With that, I pressed play, and as the song began to play, I tell about my homeland. The song finally winds down just as Peel to have finished cooking. She took out 2 bowls and poured an equal amount into each before carefully bringing them over to the table, feeling them to be holding a steaming pale brown liquid. I had a feeling I knew what this was. I turned to Sakura and asked, mushroom soup by any chance? I asked. Yes, that would be the correct guess, Sakura said. I carefully lifted the bowl and, following Sakura's example, began to drink from the bowl. Bloody hell, this is good, I thought. I turned to Sakura to express my gratitude. Wow, this is the best soup I ever had, I said. I am pleased to hear that my soup you enjoy, Sakura said. Towards your music, I've also felt similar level of joy. I glanced out the window and saw it was getting dark. Where am I staying tonight? I mean, I don't want to be a bother. Here we shall stay. Tomorrow I shall take you to a nearby town. It is not far away. You will sleep in my bed, though. I warn you, you are a little big by about a head. But what about you? I asked. Thanks for the offer, but you need somewhere to sleep as well. I will meditate. It will leave me well rested, although I will still be awake. She responded in a tone that said this isn't up for discussion. Okay, if you say so, I said before finishing off my soup and standing up. Sakura had finished her soup as well. I picked up both our bowls. Will you want these? I asked, holding the bowls up. Put 'em over there, she said, pointing to one of the shelves. I'll take care of them later. You needn't care. I put the bowls on the aforementioned shelf before turning and saying, thank you for your hospitality, but I'm really feeling tired, so I am going to sleep, okay? Sakura simply nodded before grabbing her staff and doing an insane complex acrobatic display, which resulted in her landing upside down on top of the staff, her forelegs together, and one back leg pointing straight up, while the other pointing off to the side. The staff didn't even wobble. Soft, I muttered under my breath. I swear at that moment I saw a hint of a smile flash briefly across her face before she put on a neutral expression. I walked up to the bed and removed my sword and placed it on the floor and laying down in the bed. It was only slightly smaller than I was. I could just fit on the bed without having to adopt the fetal position. My last thought before I fell asleep was, I hope my parents aren't too worried.